Betty and Barney Hill, it is official that it will be produced by a company that is owned by Barack Obama. To recap real quick, the whole story is an interracial couple from the, I think, 50s or 60s. Around there, they were driving out somewhere in the woods. Then they stopped their car. They saw some lights. And then they got out of the car. And then they sort of, I don't know how it happened in that timeline, but then they were back in their car and they drove off. And they looked at that there was like an hour or 2 hours, I forgot how long, of missing time. And they're like, what happened? I think later they even started having nightmares and things like that. Then they were under hypnosis. It was revealed that a lot more happened and that they were abducted and all this. This is one of the biggest cases, UFO cases, if you get into that. I do advise you check it out. So Barack Obama, our previous president, and his company is funding and producing this movie on Netflix. Now, what I learned more today is this is the daughter of Barney Hill, this gentleman here. Not the daughter of her, because Betty was his first wife. And she is a UFC fighter, his granddaughter. And I had a couple timestamps. So she was talking about that, and she found out they're making the movie, and she was talking how she often introduces that, not introduces, but she mentions that actually Barney was her grandfather and he was abducted. And then she's surprised how surprised people are about that story, because she just grew up hearing that. So this is a very fascinating too. Let me share this with you guys.
A relationship with them, but the story's always been very close to our family. Everyone on my dad's side believes the story. All his extended family,
Okay. I think that's an important little tidbit, and saying that they always took the story seriously, and she's not selling it. That's not like the whole video, her talking about it. It's just, part of what TMZ asked her. So I don't get that feel, but that's kind of the feeling.
They either knew Barney Hill, or they believed the story that happened just because they knew of him. They knew he was credible.
Okay, so we learned from her, from his granddaughter, that he was credible. So just an interesting little tidbit. And there's one more spot I'll skip to. And yeah, go check it out, guys, if you're curious. But this should be an interesting production once it gets out.
The reason they were picked up by aliens or whatever it was because they stood out. They looked different, and they wanted to see what was going on there.
I like that idea that she put up. And this is probably part of the reason why, if not all of the reason, or why Barack is funding or producing this movie, is because it's also because of Barney, right? Because it was early and what was going on, and Barney getting this attention. And what she mentions too is that they were an interracial couple, which I previously mentioned, which was uncommon at that time and already got, attention. So she's saying maybe they got picked up because they looked different and they were interracial, which, is an interesting little thought. But, she didn't. She just mentioned that. So I thought.
So I think
I think that was pretty interesting. And she's a UFC fighter. I had no idea of this. So pretty cool little find today. If you enjoyed that clip, you can watch these live episodes of the Monster Cast every 2 weeks. We go live. And if you want, you can always support us on Patreon, and you can see these episodes archived forever, because otherwise these Monster Casts do go unlisted to keep our video and World of Monsters YouTube page clean.
You know what you should do?